Hey everyone! Before we jump in, just a quick reminder, if you're enjoying the content, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Your support really means a lot. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Siren, and I'm absolutely thrilled to have you here with me today. Dad, have you checked your pension payment recently and noticed something wasn't quite right? Maybe the amount seemed lower than usual. Maybe something just didn't add up. If this has happened to you or someone you care about, you're not imagining it. All across the UK, pensioners are waking up to an unsettling reality. Money is being quietly deducted from state pensions, often without any explanation, warning, or prior contact from the Department for Work and Pensions. It's not a one-off glitch. It's not a small clerical error. It's a growing pattern, and it's leaving thousands of older people confused, distressed, and in some cases, dangerously short on money they rely on to survive. This isn't a matter of people mismanaging their funds or being careless with spending. These are responsible pensioners, most of whom have carefully budgeted every pound, who suddenly discover on payday that something is wrong. A chunk of their payment is gone, sometimes £30, sometimes £80, sometimes hundreds of pounds. No phone call, no letter in advance, no notice at all. For many, this deduction happens at the worst possible moment, right as rent is due, food needs to be bought, or a heating bill must be paid. And the most infuriating part? It's perfectly legal under current rules. These silent deductions are, according to the DWP, a recovery process for something they refer to as overpayments. What's shocking, however, is that many pensioners never even knew they'd been overpaid in the first place. In some cases, the supposed overpayment occurred years ago, buried in the complexities of housing benefit, income support, or a transitional payment from a legacy benefit system. Sometimes the error wasn't even the pensioner's fault, it was caused by internal system failures or miscommunication within DWP itself. Let's pause and think about what that means. A pensioner may have received a payment 6, 7, even 10 years ago that was slightly higher than it should have been, without any knowledge of it. And now, in 2025, the DWP can suddenly start deducting money back automatically from their pension. There's no requirement under current guidelines for the DWP to recontact the individual before making the deduction. And in far too many cases, the first time the pensioner becomes aware of the problem is when the shortfall hits their bank account. The emotional impact is profound. David, a 72-year-old widower from Manchester, lives on a state pension and a small private annuity. When he checked his bank statement last month, he was horrified to find £123 missing from what should have been his regular pension payment. At first, he thought his account had been compromised. He phoned the bank in a panic. After 2 hours of calls and confusion, it was revealed that the deduction came from the DWP. No letter, no prior communication, just gone. The explanation came 2 weeks later in the post, an alleged overpayment from a housing benefit. Claimant 2015 Anne, age 68 from Kent, had a similar experience. Her pension was reduced by £74 1 month with no explanation. She later received a letter stating she had been overpaid due to an a transition error dating back more than 6 years. She had no paperwork, no memory of the claim, and no way of verifying or challenging the amount. Yet the deduction continued each week. She was told it would take nearly a year to repay the full amount the DWP said she owed. This situation isn't just financially stressful, it's emotionally devastating. These pensioners have done everything right. They've worked, paid into the system, and played by the rules. And now, in their later years when stability matters most, they are being blindsided by a system that seems to prioritize clawbacks over compassion. And make no mistake, this is a systemic issue. Under current DWP rules, if someone is believed to have been overpaid, the department can legally recover up to 15% of their benefit income each week. If the person is receiving more than one type of benefit, or if the debt is considered significant, that deduction can rise to 25%. Imagine losing a quarter of your state pension each month without warning. For a pensioner on a fixed income, that could mean the difference between eating and going hungry, between keeping the lights on or living in darkness, between stability and crisis, and it gets worse. Many of these deductions are not based on fresh investigations. They're based on historic calculations, some of which were generated by automated systems with no human review. That's right, computer systems are flagging accounts, determining overpayments, and initiating deductions. And all of it can happen without any direct conversation, verification, or dialogue with the affected pensioner. It's an algorithmic system that punishes first and explains later, if at all. If you're sitting there right now thinking this couldn't happen to you, think again. If you've ever claimed housing benefit, employment support allowance, income support, or switched from one benefit to another in the last decade, then yes, you could be at risk. You may not even know there's an issue until the deduction hits your bank account. So, what should you do if this happens to you or someone you know? First and foremost, don't panic. Stay calm and take action. Contact the DWP immediately. Ask it for a complete breakdown of the overpayment, when it occurred, how much was involved, what benefit it relates to, and how the figure was calculated. Request this in writing. It is your legal right to understand and review the information they are using to justify the deduction. Next, if you believe the deduction is wrong or unfair, you can file what's called a mandatory reconsideration. This is your formal right to challenge a DWP decision. Many pensioners don't realize this step exists, and sadly, many simply give up, believing there's no recourse, but there is. And if the reconsideration fails, you still have the right to escalate the matter to a tribunal. You should also reach out to your local MP. Many members of parliament are actively aware of these issues and can help apply pressure to the DWP on your behalf. Additionally, organizations like Citizens Advice, Age UK, and Turn to Us offer free, confidential support. They can help you write appeal letters, understand your rights, and guide you through the process. Behind all this is a deeper issue, one that goes beyond forms and phone calls. It's about the values we hold as a society that claims to respect its elders, that promises care and dignity in later life, cannot treat pensioners as numbers in a spreadsheet. We cannot allow systems to deduct money from people's only income source without transparency, compassion, or accountability. It's not just a policy issue, it's a moral one, and people are starting to fight back. Across the country, grassroots campaigns are rising. Petitions demanding reform have gathered tens of thousands of signatures. There is growing momentum to cap deductions, to guarantee notice before any recovery action is taken, and to introduce a statute of limitations on historic overpayments. Many are also calling for debt forgiveness in cases where the overpayment was caused by system failures, not fraud or deliberate wrongdoing. If you're watching this and wondering what the future looks like, here's the truth. This issue isn't going away on its own. It requires public pressure. It requires awareness. It requires people like you viewers who care, who share this message, who start conversations with neighbors, with relatives, with decision makers. Because silence enables this injustice to continue, but awareness has power. It brings accountability. It brings reform. And remember, if this hasn't happened to you yet, staying informed is your best defense. Check your payments carefully. Review your bank statements regularly. Know your exact entitlement. keep a paper trail. Don't assume a missing amount is a small glitch. Follow it up, investigate, ask questions, talk to others. The more eyes we have on this system, the harder it becomes for these deductions to happen without scrutiny. Ultimately, this is about more than just one pension payment. It's about whether we as a nation believe in fairness and transparency and in treating our elders with the dignity they've earned. Pensioners should not have to live in fear of waking up to a reduced payment without warning. They should not be punished for mistakes they didn't make, and they should not have to fight to receive what is rightfully theirs. Thank you so much for being here and for caring about this important issue. If you've been affected or if you know someone who has, please share your story in the comments. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. Let's keep this conversation going. Let's stand together for pensioners, for justice, and for the right to live in dignity without fear of silent deductions.